Excuse me.
Yes?
Are you waiting for someone?
I'm waiting for the bus.
The bus?
The bus, yes.
There is no bus stop here, though.
Well, then I shall be waiting for a while, shan't I?
I suppose.
I was here yesterday as well, you see, and the day before. Still no bus to be seen.
Did you go home at all in between?
Well, yes, of course. There's no bus service after 1 a.m.
So you just gave up for the day and came back the day after?
Exactly. So, what do you do for a living?
I work in a record store. Vinyls. I sell vinyls.
Do people still scratch those?
In a hip-hop DJ sort of way. Well, I think those are all digital nowadays.
No, I mean, do people still make scratches on them?
Not intentionally, but probably more than it used to. People aren't used to carefully putting the needle on the vinyl anymore.
People aren't used to being careful with one another either. Aren't we all just vinyls, waiting to be scratched by someone's needle?
Well, if you put it like that. I sure have been scratched.
So have I.
It's no wonder, really. I was never meant to fit in. Some of us just can't live life, get married, have a dog.
I figured you for a cat person. But yeah, very sad indeed.
It's not impossible to live with,
As long as you keep it quiet.
I suppose.
Any hobbies?
I podcast, I guess.
What's a podcast?
You don't know? Everyone has a podcast these days.
Well, I don't clearly.
Okay, so it's like radio, except online, and you actually want to listen to what's being said instead of just waiting for the next song to play.
Or having it on in the background to feel less alone.
Well, that part is still the same. Podcasters just really like befriending other podcasters.
Oh, so do you want to co-host an episode with me as the new Do You Want to Come Over and Play?
Basically, I have gotten to know people all over the world.
Not really people who will show up at your funeral.
No, but they'll send you snacks from the other side of the ocean.
That sounds like a safety hazard.
I have like 30 listeners, and I know most of them, so I doubt they will poison me.
You don't seem like the person I'd want to poison. Wow. Not that I have a list.
Good to know.
Wouldn't be very healthy behavior.
We couldn't have to be mentally unstable now.
Not unless I want to avoid the drafts. Thankfully, that's not necessary anymore.
Thankfully. Not that they want me anywhere near the army anyway.
I suppose not. You don't strike me as the type.
It isn't exactly my jam, no.
So I take it you're a pacifist then?
I'm not against punching Nazis per se.
That's very Captain America.
To be honest, I'm more a fan of the occasional milkshake throwing.
How come?
Being covered in milkshake does take the sting out of your exterminate the Jewish overlord speech. You can take yelling about deep state operatives seriously to begin with, but coming from a guy with pink dairy in his hair? That's just silly.
Pink isn't necessarily humiliating.
No, but it is those hyper-masculine types.
I suppose you have to be into that. So I take it you were waiting for another homosexual?
Why? Why would you think I'm gay?
Well, have you seen yourself?
That's fair.
And you're gonna tell me anyway.
What do you mean?
You're going to tell me that you're gay later.
You know, just what I'm like, huh? You're sure you're not just some stalker?
How would I stalk you? I'm always here waiting for the bus.
This is some stupid joke?
It's not. I just know what will happen.
You're a prophet now. You gonna show me a card trick and tell me to parade a gay away? I've seen plenty of those.
A prophet is a bit of an exaggeration. Unless you want to call the writer God.
The writer?
Yeah. I just read the script.
You just read the script. Wonderful.
Well, we both do, if you must know.
Well, I'm a big believer in free will, so I'll just say you're insane.
That's just the legal term, you know. Little to do with what I do, just with culpability and severity of punishment.
Jeez, do you ever shut up?
You could have walked away at any point, you know. You started this conversation. They remember.
The children in the playground?
No, the audience.
There is no audience? Those kids aren't looking at us, I promise you.
There is an audience, I assure you. You're just not allowed to acknowledge them, and I am.
Allowed by whom?
The writer.
I can address your audience all I want.
It's not my audience. They'll like you a lot more by the end.
Of course. I'm an homosexual actor. They love that. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day, to the last syllable of recorded time, and all our yesterdays have lighted forth, the way to dusty death. Out! Out, brief candle!
The annual Shakespeare reference.
Quoting is hardly a reference.
It is when you write it into a play. There's some uninspired English major who forces Shakespeare on us every year.
Oh, so your writer is some uninspired English major? Some god you serve.
I don't serve the writer. That would be weird. She has a girlfriend for that.
Wait, she's gay too?
Well, I'm assuming that's why you are.
Still doesn't explain why you knew.
You just told me. And your name is that giveaway as well.
But I haven't told you my name.
I've read the script. The audience knows too. It's in the synopsis, in the description box.
How is my name gay though?
Well, it's really quite trite. Like I said, there's some bored English major who came up with genderless names to make casting easier.
Isn't casting only genderless people actually harder?
Not in the English department.
So what's your name?
I'm Feaudiral.
Sédomme.
Yeah, I know. We rehearsed this a dozen times over.
So what happens now? Are you actually going to explain my gay name to me?
Well, if you insist. I only think it's not that subtle to just explain your speaking names within the play itself.
It's not, but I didn't actually think my name was all symbolic until a minute ago.
It wasn't symbolic until you met me. It's a pun. Feaudiral and Sédomme. Sédomme and Feaudiral, like Sodom and Gomorrah.
Your writer, is she aware that that is a very simplistic interpretation of the biblical text? Scholars still disagree about what their sin was. They may have gotten the fire and brimstone for being inhospitable or, rapists. She should have done her research.
Well, I'm guessing she did, given you just said it. Frankly, I'm not sure why the homosexual character knows their exegesis.
A whole childhood of Christian conservative indoctrination will do that to you. But I guess you already knew that.
No, not really, to be honest. She barely touches on your backstory again.
Wait, what? Why not? I'm not interesting enough or what?
Well, I'm sure you are, but it's more about me and my profession from here on out. You see, I don't work in a store.
And why is that relevant? I still have no clue who you even are.
You may not know me personally, but I know who you are.
You know everyone now, because of your knowledge of the script?
Well, diegetically speaking,
What now?
in story, I know you because it's my job.
And what, pray tell, would be your in-story job?
Well, Sédomme and Feaudiral, Sédomme and a federal agent. I've been trained my entire adult life to keep order and have intel that there's a kidnapper active near this playground.
You? You're some Secret Service spy? I thought you were waiting for the bus.
There is no bus stop here.
I know! I just thought you weren't quite alright.
You thought I was insane. But legally speaking, I'm very much in control of my actions.
Well, if you're a cop, then legally speaking, you're not necessarily accountable for them.
I'm not a cop, I'm a fed. The police don't usually like us coming in because we keep them accountable.
Okay, you're a super special cop who keeps other cops in line, but who says you're being kept in line?
Who watches the watchman, indeed. But if there were higher-ups in charge of us, how would we keep them accountable?
Oh, please. Even if you guys were always lawful, if you would ever take out one of the ones who's running the place. It's never the ones who deserve it the most, just the ones who are easily missed.
So you think some people are above the law? Like the some animals are more equal stick?
I think that you protect them as long as they're wealthy and white enough. In the meantime, who cares about a couple queers more or less? Or immigrants, or sex workers, or the mentally ill?
So you think we don't go after the rich and famous? Come on, they're all over the news when they get caught.
You don't care until they get exposed and can't fly or discredit their way out of it and make it too goddamn hard for you to turn a blind eye.
So what, I just grab a poor marginalized criminal instead?
I know you do. That's how you know me, right?
I don't know what you're talking about. We keep tabs on everyone.
I'm talking about you showing up right when I'm supposed to meet someone in a safe public space doing nothing wrong except not conforming to norms.
Hardly a safe space if I'm expecting a child-stealing creep any minute.
And if he doesn't show, then what? What will you have to show for your day? Just me on some made-up drug charges or public indecency?
If he doesn't show, I'll have successfully protected the children. Nobody cares as much about the children as I do, I assure you.
Yeah, sure. As long as they're malleable, right? Until they're all grown up and fucked in the head from years of indoctrination and hateful towards anyone who's different.
Are you sure you're okay? I didn't mean...
You didn't mean to what? Protect the children from seeing me with a potential hookup? If only their poor little brains could comprehend me kissing someone of the same gender.
I am only here to deter a kidnapper. So unless your date is a pedo...
Fuck you! Fuck you for even insinuating that we're the same. Don't you think I've heard those smears often enough from right-wing assholes trying to scare their pure and loving Christian bays because the gays were coming to take your children?
I didn't mean it that way.
Sure you didn't. Just in the script, right?
I'm sure that when she wrote it...
Whoever thought of that fucking joke, they were being a dick. I'm sure they didn't fucking think of what it's like to be accused of assault knowing goddamn well how much it breaks you inside.
Wait, you...
No, not me, just everyone around me. Until I wondered if there was something wrong with me. I would have taken all of it if I could have spared them. And Jula and order folk didn't do shit about it.
I didn't know.
So much for your fucking rehearsal.
It wasn't in the script.
Of course it wasn't. Because people don't like to talk about their shame. They just pretend it isn't there.
I've not been quite honest with you. Or with myself, to be frank. I don't have intel about an active kidnapper.
I should have fucking known you were bullshitting.
I am a federal agent, though. I just haven't had intel in a while.
Sure you are. Do you mind if I go look for my date now? I was hoping to get late.
Wait. Can you just stay with me for a bit? Just a bit longer. I haven't had much company since I went on sick leave.
Are you ill?
Brain tumor. Inoperable. People tend not to stick around for sub-stories if they take too long.
But don't you have anyone to talk to? A spouse, a therapist, a dog?
Nope. My partner couldn't watch me go. Ran off with my therapist. Took the dog too.
I'm sorry to hear this.
Now I just come here, pretending to protect the children, because looking at them reminds me that there's still a future left for us, even if I won't be a part of it.
I guess we all hope to have a little longer to figure out this whole existence.
We're all terminal in a sense. The time left for me is just not as much as yours or theirs.
I'm sure whoever they are, they will miss you just as much as you'll miss them.
Mortality is beautiful, you know. No beginning without an ending.
You mean there's no life without death? I admire your optimism.
Well, everything is entropy. No use fighting it.
What? No, you still gotta fight. Squeeze every last bit of juice out of your life. You can't just start writing your last words already.
My last words have already been written.
I know you think that, but you still have a choice. Eat, dance, spend, live.
There's always so much we can do, especially in fiction. As soon as this play ends, you and we're gone.
What? I'm not dying.
Hey, it's okay.
No, it's not okay. What do you mean?
I'm glad that I got to spend my last bit of time on a date with you.